If you are here to test the waters and see how far your ego can take you, I suggest to you don't start at all before you end up putting vulnerable followers' lives in danger. You are welcome back to my channel. I'm Cyrus and this is Tuntum Network. This is my first episode featuring a private individual in Ghana who is aspiring for a public office. And because I don't know the man and I don't know anyone who knows him, I will have to use information on him from the internet. In today's episode, I want to focus on Nana Kwame Bediako, who is also known as Freedom Jacob Caesar, or popularly known as Cheddar. He is a successful businessman, being the founder and chairman of the P.L.O Group and New Africa Foundation. Multiple websites put his net worth between $2 billion to $4.5 billion US dollars. This year, on 13th February, he will be 44 years old and has allegedly announced his interest in running for president of Ghana to close friends. He has so far unveiled himself as being the face behind the mask, which I think is a good step, and has mention of great plans and visions to be made known to the Ghanaian populace in due course. This episode, however, isn't about what he wants to tell Ghanaians and Africans about himself or his vision for the nation. This episode is about what the people of Ghana are expecting from their leaders, whether from Caesar or Pharaoh or Alexander the Great. It's not about the person. It should be about the marriage between what the people want and what you want. Come with me. I have a lot of things to share with you today on this. So, for all those who live in Ghana or may have visited Ghana at some point in their lives, there are a couple of things that clearly explains why the nation is lagging behind. And so the moment whatever solution you have in mind isn't about a system but about a personality, then you are headed the same road of only replacing one problem with the other, just like the others have done. Let me explain this. Everybody knows the number one problem on the African continent, and that is leadership. Everybody knows it. I have said it severally, and Peter Obi reiterated it when he came to Ghana. In trying to solve this particular problem, it requires a well thought through plan of introducing a new system to replace the current. A type of system which can first gain the interest of the people, win political power, self-sustain, and provide continuity even after you are gone. Take, for instance, the military, who for many years ran themselves with very minimal influence from the government or politicians. That's an example of how a system works. The major private banks in any country in the world don't need a president of a country to function properly. They have their own internal systems that run and maintain their operations. And that is what I'm speaking about. So, Nana, when you are ready to address the nation on your vision, remember to make it about the problems you have identified and systems you have in mind to solve them. Solutions that won't require your continuous presence or constant supervision to make them functional. Those are the key words we want to hear. Now, Ghana works through parliament. For those who don't know, Ghana's parliament is dominated by two political parties. And the vision you have will have to go through these same parliamentarians who have led the country down this rabbit hole for years if you choose to run for president. Have you considered all these in your vision? Have you considered the fact that these parliamentarians mostly choose the interests of their political parties over the nation, and what that means to anyone who threatens to topple their continuity of their parties? Have you considered how easy it is for them to frustrate the attempt of you lifting up your head? I mean, just reminisce on what happened on 7th January when the convention was cancelled. It was just a matter of one person picking up a phone and that ends it. Have you considered when you have more than 100 of such people with power trying to manipulate situations against your interests? It is not an even playing field. And that's why I suggested to you in my previous episode to rather consider the Malema route, to first get yourself into parliament and bring your team along in different constituencies. First, get a foothold in the legislature. I said same thing about Papa Kwesi Indum's presidential ambition, which he ignored because he considered his age and was confident in his achievements. I will genuinely want you to succeed after I hear you on your vision for the new force, for the mere fact that the country need a change and a break from these two political parties. But I will not be sycophant, craftily cheering you on and being in denial of the challenges you have ahead. What you saw on January 7th was a good morning cup of tea, a good morning cup of coffee served to you nice and hot. The entire government machinery, whether from the current or new, will be directed towards you and your immediate family, your core team, your followers, until you give up and you call back to where you came from, the moment they realize you are gaining momentum. Are you ready for that kind of a showdown? That will be the real showdown. Be reminded that Ghana doesn't have a national development plan, okay? And for that reason alone, the vision you have in mind will have to be one that can be sold and bought by the vast majority of Ghanaians. This is what I mean in plain terms. You need to tour the country with your vision and see what the people think of it. When the people like it, you will stand the chance of making waves in any election any year. So I suggest to you to start organizing town hall meetings and public seminars, including granting more interviews after you officially introduce yourself in a presentation to the country, and you start speaking more local languages, especially Twi, and bring on board other committed people who have ideas to offer. You have put one foot into the political colosseum, for which as a junior I applaud you for. Now you have to put the next foot in and expect to fight whatever comes out of the gate till you win. The African youth is simply tired of the old heads who have saturated our politics and destroyed the future of this promising country. They say all manner of things to get into power, and then they drink their power Kool-Aid and become something else. But freedom, I have questions to ask you. Many well-meaning Ghanaians have questions to ask you, of which I will pose a few. Ghana is on a life support from loans and grants. We barely have enough to pay workers' wages and plan for any project. How are you going to generate revenue or income outside of loans and grants? Where will all the money you need for the plans you have in mind come from? This question at this point in time may be premature, which I will accept. I may be putting the cart before the horse since you haven't officially declared your interest in running for president. So I'll give you a break for now. But this is what I'm saying. I feel this is the one question you should have clear answers to before you hit the road. We overlooked asking this question in detail during the current president's run for office and has cost us a lot today. The youth will not blindly follow you if you have nothing special to offer. If you are here to test the waters and see how far your ego can take you, I suggest to you you don't start at all before you end up putting vulnerable followers' lives in danger. At the same time, you have a lot of youth quietly watching to see your next move in order to determine what they will also do. We wish you well. I wish you well. I wish you all the best, and may God help you in your cause. Thank you for taking time to watch today's episode. I'll come your way again pretty soon. Until then, kindly subscribe, like, share, leave a comment if you find this content interesting. God bless you, and it's bye-bye for now.